So did you want to make the scopes in Fallout New Vegas look a bit more modern? Well, today I'm going to show you a mod that probably everybody knows about. This is B42 Optics ESP-less, and pretty much what this does, it completely changes the look of the scopes when you zoom in, and it gives it a bit more of a modern approach to all the scopes in the game. You can actually get a lot of patches for the B42 Optics, so if you are using any weapon replacers or texture replacers on any sort of weapons in the game, you can actually get a patch for that so they work properly. In some areas of the map, when you do zoom down at the scopes in this new mod, it does slightly lag your game, and if you go to areas obviously where there's a lot of buildings and a lot of NPCs, it will slightly lag your game as well, but it's nothing too mental. When you actually do zoom in certain areas as well, obviously its FPS is pretty decent, so it's a very good, well-made mod, and it kind of makes it that much more modern when you're using snipers. A shout out to True Scopes. This is another mod that's very similar to B42 Optics. I'm going to say this is preference, so this is another mod here where you can actually get something very, very similar. If you decide to use this one, you can do, but they're both very good. But I think B42 Optics has more patches for different weapon replacers. Next up, we have Just Mods, which is a collection of mods that makes your game that much better. So you have a crosshair, hit marker, hit indicator, an objective marker, loot menu, wheel menu, sprint button, hold breath, and bullet time. So these are a bunch of mods that are pretty much just jammed into one's mod, and it's actually called Jam. That's the nickname for it, and you get a bunch of different things in this mod, which is great because it enhances your game that much more. And I'm going to go through quite a few of them. The sprint is pretty decent, but you can get another mod which I'll show you later in the video that is just a much better sprint in my opinion. You can hold breath now with your sniper rifles. You have bullet time, which is slow motion, as you can see here. When you are using bullet time, everything slows down, and it's kind of like real-time VATS, where it will actually mark at certain locations of the body, and you can actually change the ini file so you can actually get this to go even slower if you really wanted to. It's a very cool little addition. I do like bullet time, prefer it than VATS because I'm not the biggest fan of VATS. I don't really use it that often, but if you like to use bullet time instead of VATS, that'd be a very good replacer for VATS, and it does actually drain your AP as well, just similar to VATS. So as you can see, it does actually mark different locations of the body when you are fighting enemies. As you can also see, you've actually got a hit indicator every time you hit the enemies as well. And obviously you get a little objective marker here, so when you're in the game you can actually see your objectives in real time on your screen, just like any modern game, similar to like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed or like Far Cry. Also, you get a weapon wheel similar to like GTA 5 or GTA 4, so you can scroll through your weapons by just clicking a key. It's very simple, very similar to GTA 5. And then also you get different types of crosshairs for different types of weapons that you're using. Obviously, when you're using snipers, it'll be slightly different. And then if you are using shotguns, it's more of a circle crosshair. And when your character's moving, it will actually slightly zoom in much more, which is very cool. So each type of weapon has a different crosshair, which is pretty awesome. Now, a new shop is opened up in Freeside, and it has a plethora of new items and armors for the play character and also NPCs. Right at the back of Freeside, closest to the strip gate, there is a new shop. This is Tammers Workshop, and pretty much what this does, it includes a bunch of new outfits for the play character to wear and also NPCs throughout the world, because this is injected into the level list. So this is actually a voiced NPC inside of the shop. We can buy all of these items. Make sure you got a lot of caps though, because some of these items are very pricey. So let's have a look here. As you can see, there is a whole plethora of items here. Bunch of helmets, bunch of armors, and they all look very unique. The great thing about this mod is it's very, very vanilla friendly, because all of these items are pretty much just mashups of vanilla styled armors in the game. And as you can see, some of them do look very incredible. They work for both the female and the male character, and like I said, they are injected into the level list, which means NPCs throughout the world will be wearing these as well. And I do like this because it's extremely vanilla friendly and nothing too crazy. This mod isn't actually on the Nexus, but it's on its own website, which I'll put down in the description below so you can grab these. Tammer also does weapon mods, which pretty much adds a bunch of new weapons to the game that are pretty much mashups of vanilla styled weapons that also look incredible. But I'm going to show you the armors today. I will also put the weapon one in the description as well, but Tammer does absolutely amazing mods that you definitely need to go and grab. And like I said, even if you don't have enough caps, you can go out through the world and you'll probably find a bunch of NPCs wearing these new outfits. This is a mod that probably every single person who's downloaded Fallout New Vegas mods knows about. This is Titans of the New West, and I've shown this multiple times, but this is probably the essential mod that you definitely need for Fallout New Vegas, and it pretty much changes the complete look of the power armors in Fallout New Vegas. So if you remember the power armor in the old Fallout games, we're talking about this one and Fallout 3, they didn't look very bulky. Now this mod bulks them up, very similar to what you see in Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and Fallout 1 and 2. Where they actually make the character look like a walking tank, which is the way they're meant to look. The great thing about this mod as well, new weapons actually have their own animations. So as you can see, carrying this pistol, my play character does actually hold it in one hand, which looks pretty awesome. There is a slight difference with the heavy weapons as well, and then also the melee weapons. A lot of the actual two-handed weapons like your laser rifles and normal rifles do have new animations. As you can see, my character is now firing the laser rifle with one hand, which looks pretty goddamn awesome, I've got to say. And when you are fighting enemies, it just looks absolutely badass. Now the player does actually look like an unstoppable killing machine, which is the way it was meant to be intended. In the Fallout games like the Fallout 4 and 76, your play character was a lot more bulky and actually felt like a mechanical suit. Whereas now with this mod in Fallout New Vegas, the play character will actually feel just like you did in Fallout 4 and Fallout 1 and 2. So it's a very awesome mod. Like I said, everyone probably knows about this, but if you're ever new to the modding scene and you don't know about this mod, you definitely need to grab this one because it completely changes the whole look of the power armor in these games. And obviously if you got TTW, you can grab that as well, and it actually has a patch for it, which looks absolutely awesome. If you do like the melee weapons, they do come with their own new animations when you're swinging, for instance, the fire axe, which looks pretty awesome. So a very cool mod that you definitely need to download if you haven't. Now this is a very cool mod which opens the strip up to the way it was meant to be, like you've seen in the screenshots and the actual art for the game. This is simple open strip, which will pretty much completely open the strip up so there's no load screen barriers between each section of the strip. Now as you can see, you can pretty much see from the starting gate right down to the back end gate of the strip, and it looks absolutely incredible. The only bad side to this mod is obviously it will tank slightly your FPS because you've got a lot more NPCs on screen now and a lot more security trons knocking about the strip. So it slightly hurts your FPS, but it's not that crazy. In some sections closest to the top, it will tank it a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy that won't want you to play the game. But obviously when you get to the back end, it doesn't really hit your FPS at all because there's not really much there. But as you can see, you can pretty much just sprint from one side of the strip to the other, and it looks absolutely incredible. When you get more mods that enhance the strip that much more, it just looks absolutely amazing, and it gives it a bit more life, and it's a lot better as a player, so you don't have to keep going through about 3 different loading screens to get from one side of the strip to the other. Now a very cool mod called Enhanced Moving, created by Wombat, completely changes the way the player character crouches, and also gives you a new lean-in animation, so you can actually lean around corners like you've seen in like Rainbow Six Siege, which is pretty cool. So now you can actually sneak and go prone as the play character, so you can see in first person and third person, the play character will actually go into a prone position, and now you can actually sneak around the wasteland if you really wanted to. Now there is a better sneaking animation as well, and also you get some enhanced leaning, so the player character can lean around walls, which is very cool. And you also get a sprint button as well, so you can sprint around the map, which also drains your AP. Now you've got a section here on your mod page where you can actually change different things and change the UNI files if you really wanted to. You can obviously enable some and disable some if you don't like some of them, but I pretty much have them all enabled. Lean-in is a pretty cool one. I do very like the lean-in, so you can actually lean around corners. So if you are in some buildings or out in the open where you've got some walls to hide behind cover, you can pretty much lean around the walls like you're playing some like tactical shooter, just like you've seen in like Rainbow Six. The prone is slightly buggy. Some weapons it looks very awkward, especially when you are reloading in prone. I do really like the lean feature, and also obviously the enhanced sprint button, which pretty much lets the player character sprint, and it does drain the AP. You can obviously change that in the UNI files, so if you wanted to change how much AP the player character drains when they are in the sprint mode. It's a very cool little addition to the game that you definitely need to grab. Now another Millenia, I dare say, is probably the best weapons pack on the Nexus. This pretty much adds a bunch of new weapons to the game with loads of unique variants that you can find throughout the world, and these are also in your leveled list, so other NPCs and enemies will be using these weapons, and you can find the unique variants throughout the world. So there's a lot of weapons here to go through, and obviously these are based off real life weapons that you can grab obviously in real life, and a lot of unique variants which have different scopes and different skins on them. But a lot of these look absolutely awesome, and like I said, they are injected into the level list, so when you are fighting any NPC or enemy throughout the game, they will be carrying these new weapons that look absolutely cool. They have their own animations when you reload them, and they just look exceptional. And there's so many weapons to go through that obviously you will find so many of these weapons in one playthrough, and some of them you might not actually find at all because there's just so many to go through. But I must say it's probably the best weapons pack on the Nexus. You do get a lot of patches for this as well, so it will patch with animations of your choosing. Then also your optics, your B42 Optics mod that I showed previously does also have a patch for this, so the scopes, as you've seen here, actually work correctly, and you get that more modern scope when you zoom down the sights. It's a very awesome mod, and there's a lot of Millenia mods on the Nexus, but this is probably the main one that you definitely want to grab because there's so many cool weapons that you need to check out. Remember this awesome scene from Fallout New Vegas' intro? Well, for some reason, a veteran ranger sniper was never placed atop the actual New Vegas sign. Well, today with this mod, we're actually going to restore that sniper and make sure Vegas has a new guardian above the New Vegas sign. So this guy is actually a ghoul. He becomes with a full NCR veteran ranger getup. He has an anti-material rifle that is the unique variant of General Oliver's anti-material rifle. That isn't actually obtainable in-game, but now this guy has it. He looks very awesome, and especially at night time, he definitely stands out. Now, any fiends or any raiders that are in this location will pretty much get sniped out very quickly. You can actually climb the ladder, which is a bonus, so you can actually come up here and chat to this guy and even help him out. So it's a very awesome mod that for some very strange reason, I don't know why the developers did not add this guy into the game, because that intro video is fucking badass. A very cool mod that is definitely needed. Today I'm about to show you the most essential mod in Fallout New Vegas. This is ESP-ESM Explorer ESPless. So pretty much what this mod does is it allows you to look through your plugins and pretty much choose any item, weapon or outfit of your choosing and put it straight into your inventory. So you can search for all your plugins, that mods you've got, and choose an item, weapon or outfit of your choosing. All you need to do is click FN F11 and it'll open up this screen here where you can actually go through all the mods that you've actually downloaded to your game. You can also click the Q key when you're hovering over an item that you've chosen, so you can actually select how many of said item you want to actually choose. So you can pretty much go for every single mod you've downloaded and actually grab a weapon or outfit of your choosing, just so you don't have to type in any console commands. It's hell of a lot easier, and I think this is probably the only one on the Nexus that you can actually find. There is another one that you can actually grab, but it's a bit harder to come by. It's a very cool little mod that you definitely need to download, so you don't have to go through any console commands, so you can grab your new mods. Simple as that. Very awesome little mod. Check it out.
You'd better get out of here if you know what's good for you.